Kagurabachi. And with that, I'm going to pass this one over to Josh.
Hey, thanks, Chris. All right. Kagurabachi, chapter number 82. I'm going to save the name of the chapter to the end because that's when we get the title at the end. But I do know what it is. Anyway, last week, we got one hell of a fucking shock. Turns out Uraha was still alive. How is he alive? Because Samura's powers are fucking OP broken, and he can probably beat anybody in fiction with them. How foolish of I to have thought he could lose when he could defeat people of the likes of Dr. Manhattan, the Beyonders, the Sandman.
Is that what you think?
Probably Christian, Judeo-Christian God. You know what I'm saying? That's not how I genuinely feel, but I was salty. I'm trying to like, get back in that moment. Anyway, so yeah, Uraha came back alive to help save Hakuri at the Kuminabi headquarters, where they're currently being attacked by the Hishaku evil sorcerers. A whole bunch of bullshit's happening there. We'll get back to them. But starting with this week, we are back at the Kyoto Killer Hotel. I think the place was called.
I think that's what it's called.
Where Chihiro and Samura are about to face off. As Chihiro thinks to himself, all this time I wanted to believe it, but I couldn't be sure. Samura notices that Mini Masumi man just pulled up to the floor, and he tosses him the Kumayuri sword that hit
Shit. Hirohiko.
Dave, thanks. That Hirohiko dropped after getting his fucking arm sliced off by Samura. Pretty legit. Not for my agenda though. Anyway, so he tosses him the sword. He's like, "Yo, like, all right, take care of that." Hirohiko bounced. I didn't get the chance to kill him. He's still contracted to the sword, but at least they can't use it. And this is, after Chihiro had been thinking to himself, after noticing Samura's Phoenix abilities, he asks him, "Mr. Uraha is alive, isn't he?" Which shocks Mini Masumi, and Samura is silent. And now we cut to Uraha. He's thinking to himself, saying, I'm going to cut this pretty short. Essentially, he's thinking back to, what Samura told him about, right before he, he supposedly killed him, that, he was going to burden this mission all on his own. And more or less what this boils down to, I'm going to wait to the end. I don't want to jump the gun here. But Uraha understands that he wanted to take the mission of taking out the swordsman, at least in this way that, doesn't kill the others, since he has a unique way of doing it. The issue with this, however, is that he couldn't possibly revive himself through the same technique, because if he was to die, his sorcery cuts off. The only reason Uraha and I guess Chihiro was able to survive is because he remained alive for his sorcery to take place. And he did that by implanting a piece of his spirit phoenix flame or whatever into them after he slashed Chihiro and Uraha. So yeah, that's how he did it. And that's when we get back to Uraha and Hakari. Chihiro, Uraha is like, I lost. At least let me protect this place while they're away. He says, I have faith in them, meaning Chihiro and the counter Samura force. Samura's like, so what if Uraha's alive? And Chihiro's like, yo, you intend to die alone. Like, you're going to sever all the other contracts from the swordsman and then allow yourself to die in the process. And he's like, more than anything, the possibility that the malediction, we need a drop for like every time they say that. A new one or something. Malediction.
Malediction.
Right? It sounds so evil. And the power of the enchanted blades will wreak havoc in the future is my greatest fear. I know you feel the same. You don't need to stop me. I'll kill the sword master. And Chihiro's like, yes, I feel the same. As they clash swords, I didn't think they was about to fight. I thought they was about to just talk it out and chat. Thank God. And Chihiro's like, basically, like, look, like you want to save people's lives no matter what you're going through, and I feel the same. I want to save your life no matter what. Like, we have to figure out a way to do this. And Samura knocks Chihiro into a room and then closes the door. And then one of the coolest panels of the week, Chihiro, I don't know if he actually goes. Yes, he does. He peers. No, I don't think he walks straight up to the door. He's just like guessing, right? But we see like a perspective of like through the people at the door, Samura charging up his white purity style slash. Looks fucking epic.
So cool.
Yeah, probably gonna be the thumbnail for the YouTube for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you could use the Chihiro one. That shit is sick too.
Chihiro one is hard because there's text on it, so it's a little extra work to get rid of it. But maybe.
Oh, I see. Could you keep the text?
It doesn't look right with
it.
Whatever.
Yeah. Anyway. So he all right. Chihiro anticipates that Samura is like charging up this move and close the door so that like Chihiro wouldn't be able to predict where he's coming from. But Chihiro's like, fuck that. I'm gonna stand my ground and just charge up my move too, like my EA shit with N10. And as soon as Chihiro makes a gulp, Samura like hears it and is able to like pinpoint where Chihiro is through the door. And in an immense force of sheer power, slashes through the door and blasts Chihiro out the fucking door. Like, he directs the whole room from the force of the impact and clashes swords with Chihiro as they're flying off out of the building. As Chihiro yells, "I'll show you here and now." As we finally get the name of the chapter, 82, N10 verse Tobemune.
Shikes.
Shiest indeed, my friend. All right, Brian, what were your thoughts?
This was really close to being my RGC.
Same.
This was like...
Chris can't say that because he said something else was the second best.
Frankly, I don't know why I was bugging, but I won't take it back.
One Piece made a bee's dick a difference between...
A bee's dick of I've never heard that before. That's so funny.
Yo.
A bee's dick of difference. I wish I could use that as a title. I don't think I can.
We can't. Can you just put a bee's D?
A bee's D of difference? I could.
You're gonna know.
I feel like I could do that. Maybe if I censor it, I put D.
Yes.
Hashtag star. Yeah. All right. Hell yeah. That's the time. Man, Thin Fire. But whatever. We'll talk about it after the show. Go for it, Brian.
Honestly, this chapter didn't feel as clean when it comes to the way that he does his like retroactive storytelling with like flashbacks and shit. It wasn't the most like organized chapter, but goddamn, it still got the job done. It was pretty fucking sick. Coming back to seeing Chihiro and Uruha. Oh, not Uruha. Chihiro and Samura. But goddamn, that panel of them them launching each other out of the building was so beautifully drawn. And on top of that, I like the attention to detail for certain things. I don't think I don't think Samura closed the door. I think the force of him slamming Chihiro through the door caused it to swing back and close itself. Is what I think.
Maybe.
And then Samura was just like, all right, the door's closed. I'm just gonna prep through it. And this is the second time that they've done this whole, or a third time. Is this the third time they did the whole like looking through the
It wasn't a peephole last time. Samura was just in the darkness.
But Chihiro was also looking. Oh no, not Chihiro.
He was far away. I don't think he's actually looking through the peephole. No, I think that's just
because the daughter was looking through the peephole earlier this arc while Chihiro was fighting. Remember?
Oh yeah.
So this is the second time they did that kind of POV thing. And it's pretty interesting that both of them were enchanted sword wielders. I think that's pretty interesting. But nah, man, like this chapter was so fucking sick. I love this series so much. It's so cool to see how everything kind of works itself out. But those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I was tweaking. I don't know why I didn't choose this one to be the second best. But Sakamoto Days, I mean, I guess is a testament to how good everything's been lately. I think we're at a high point in all the series that we're talking about. This was a tough one for me. But man, I mean, I think on a level of art, I think Hokuzono is doing some really cool things in terms of composition, and just creative. I don't even know the word for it really, but just the way he composes his panels and he lays out his art is pretty unique, and it's really cool. And it's honestly why I think manga art in particular is the best sequential art. I think there's like a lot of creativity on display with a lot of these artists, and Hokuzono is definitely no exception. So yeah, this was cool. The explanation for Uraha, I am going to take half credit, because I did say that he is killing these guys. He's in a way that he's just trying to sever their contracts to save them. I think my one thing that was wrong particularly was that I said that he's severing their contracts so that he could give them to people he would be okay with dying alongside him. But I think his ultimate plan is to kind of bear the brunt of all the swords and then kill Shinichi Master, so that only he and Shinichi Master would die. But I'm going to take a little bit of credit there. I called it last week, and nobody can take that away from me. Nobody can take it away from me. I have called it. I'll take it.
Got it. That's fine.
But I did enjoy this. I'm cool with Uraha being back. I'm actually excited Uraha's back. I did like his character, and I'm glad he's still around. I felt like he was taken from us too early, so I'm glad he's still around. I think Samura is going to be around for a while, buddy. I'm sorry. I feel more confident about it now than I have in the past. But I think there's going to be, not exactly this, but a little Sasuke Naruto thing going on here, where Chihiro's trying to stop Samura from taking this on his own.
Chihiro.
Did I say Samura?
Say Yura.
Yura, wow. How did I get that? Yeah, Chihiro, I mean, sorry. But yeah, it's either that or he dies here, which I think is still possible. I'm not ruling out the possibility, but I feel a little bit more confident in my bet more than I have in the little past.
Okay.
But you know what I think is going to happen? You think how I think it's going to go down if Samura dies?
You do it because I have my idea. Oh, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So they're out of the building now. So it's possible they could take this fight anywhere. And it's possible they could end up right above where they're stealing the Shinichi. So big bad guy could take the Shinichi and then, or free Shinichi Master, and Shinichi Master could kill Samura. And that's kind of the only way I see this going down. But that's my thought.
All right.
But you could go on, Josh. What are your thoughts?
So, all right, my thoughts are basically centered around. That's what I was gonna say anyway. This chapter was yet another roller coaster for me as far as like, I almost sent you the white beard where he's handing the W. I almost sent it just 3 pages in. It, literally because, and that was right before they started squaring up to fight. I thought they was about to just talk no jutsu this shit, you know, and they was gonna go. Samurai was gonna go separate ways, and that would have been it. Like if he would have died, it would have been in, you know, later at a later time in a different arc, you know, different situation. But they started to fight, and you know what? I didn't think too hard about the fact that they were outside, but I will say this: if they do take the fight outside, I think that does heighten the chances of him dying. I don't think they're gonna get by the Hishaku base though. I think they're really far.
Yeah,
from that shit.
it's possible.
I don't know personally, but I just think he's gonna get snuck. I think somebody else is gonna catch him. And my reasoning behind this is that the Hishaku, his daughter is still vulnerable right now. She's not with Chihiro. Chihiro's the strongest person they had holding her down. Who's to say more sorcerers can't come and get her? And even if you remove the girl from the situation, some other sorcerers could pull up on him and cause something to happen. I think. Remember, Yura said he was going to shoot 2 arrows. One at the base, one for the, going after the Shinichi, right? And the second one he didn't say. So I'm hoping, this is this whole Samura fight, and I guess this arc is blended now. It has to be the Samura Chihiro X Kumanami headquarters break-in arc, right? So when this whole thing resolves, we'll know. This is a real long bet. This might, I guess, who knows? Maybe it'll end in another 2 chapters.
No, I think it'll be a little bit still. I think we're probably in the climax, at least of this section, that's for sure. But the other section might take some time, so I think we're in the same kind of space still. The arc has to be over. They have to be moving on to a new adventure, so to speak, in order for the bet to be over.
Yeah, fair enough. I didn't feel great though. Even like during this chapter, and mostly because I thought about the bet itself. I thought about, the reason I did it. I challenged you. You didn't say, "Oh, are you willing to put your?" I started. I said, "I think he's gonna die, and I'm willing."
Hey, I never start these things. I finish them.
Well, sometimes you'll say, "Oh, are you willing to make a Ron Burgundy bet about it?" But I'm the one that spurred this one on for sure, And I regret, and I don't know if I'm gonna. I did it because I thought I understood tropes, but I was being thirsty. I still think now that was a thirsty bet to make. And
you can still hit a buzzer beater though. I wouldn't. I'm not exactly going on a victory lap here. I just think my chances have increased by maybe 10%.
I have to be smarter about the next.
My thing is that the thing that gives me doubt is that Samura is too strong at this point.
Yeah, but doesn't that,
which you know what I mean? Would make him a great antagonist going forward. But
makes him a prime candidate to get smoked too, though.
It does, exactly. It makes him a prime candidate to die at some point because he is half a good guy.
I think that's the validation I'm seeking through like this bet is that like no, it's totally like this is something that like happens in manga and it'd be totally reasonable if he did die at this point. I don't think it'd be like they shouldn't have killed Samura off this early. I think it would serve a good point for the story.
Yeah.
His daughter could pick up the sword. We already know. I'm not gonna rehash everything. Anyway, I don't really have much more to say about the chapter. I gave a lot of my thoughts during the review and while you guys gave your thoughts too. But I mean, hell of a chapter. Yeah, definitely my second favorite also.
Nice. Alrighty. Well, with that being said, I suppose we should move on. Yeah.
You know what? I have a very, very late comment to make about One Piece. So One Piece spoilers for anyone just listening to just this part. But in the chapter, I was wondering when do you think Luffy would have wanted to go towards the island that he's seen that hockey coming from?
Yes.
Do you think he would have wanted to go to that island?
He felt the hockey just
He
now, and
seemed
he's like, "We
worried.
got to go up now."
He looked worried to me.
No, I think he was more like he's more worried for other people, not for himself.
What do you think, Brian?
Which lightning are you talking about?
The hockey that they
The
felt.
hockey.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going over there. You kidding me?
Of course, but I'm saying like it looked like he's nervous about it.
I think he's
No,
more
he has
nervous
to go
for
up
his
there.
crew. I think he's more nervous for the other people up there, but not facing it himself.
Yeah, that ain't not. Luffy's not the type.
So
to
with
get
that
nervous.
said, he probably wouldn't go towards that island with his crew,
Yes, he would.
right? He would just
What
tell them
island?
to stay back, and he would go. Just I'm saying all right, because I'm
No,
talking
he would
about
go.
from. Remember the compass situation, or the log post situation when Luffy.
Oh
wanted to go
yeah, the
to
lightning island.
So I'm saying, that was one of the islands I know, but I'm saying that when they felt the hockey, the black lightning, like that conquers hockey, would Luffy have wanted to go to that island
Yeah.
if they didn't know what the hell? Yeah, and that's what I'm asking, Brian.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, anyway,
I think
So
his
I'd
nerves came from if there are nerves, it's more that shit was popping off and he didn't know. So he doesn't know the status of his crew. But if he was
Yeah.
if he was together with his crew and he felt that hockey, he'd be like, "Let's go."
okay.